Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé Season 12, Episode 12. So help me God. So we're just going to get on to it. First things first, y'all, I am tired. It's been a busy week on this shit. I've done so many freaking videos. This is the most videos in the week I've done. So I am exhausted. So I'm going to try to actually on this recap be in and out because I'm exhausted. So I may have to take like a tad bit of a break this week. I don't know. I don't know yet, but I do want to at least do 90 Day. So yeah. Anyway, the first couple I want to talk is Katie and Joshua. So Katie and Joshua, as we all know, they're in Portland visiting Katie's family. It's for Easter weekend and stuff and everything. In this episode, Katie and Josh got into a little bit of an argument because apparently a lot of Josh's belongings has been stuck in customs and have not been fully shipped over from the UK. And so they got word that it's finally getting clear, but they're not home to get them. And I guess like Katie knew about it, but didn't tell Josh. And then Josh had to like call them to try to figure it out and everything. And Katie, he got mad at Katie because she didn't feel like the importance of it basically and stuff. So he had to call them, but that was all we've seen out of that. Now it's Easter. It's Easter week. It's Easter Sunday, and last week, Katie revealed to us that her family is Lutheran, and Josh is actually an agnostic, basically. And so Katie's family is obviously the complete opposite of Katie because, as I said last week, which was irritating, is that, she wants Josh to convert and everything, but Katie's out there kissing and making out with everybody and not falling and out there sinning all the time and stuff. And so you got her sinning all the time, and she's about to marry a guy who's like an agnostic and stuff. So it's Easter. They do like a little Easter egg hunt and whatever. After that, they have Easter dinner. They're praying over the food and stuff and everything. Josh is just like, okay. And they started talking about religion. And Katie asked the question, like, will I go to heaven and he go to hell if he's not going to be a believer and stuff and everything? And her mom was just like, I don't know. What I can say about this is that, a lot of people have like I said, we all sin every day, basically. Nobody's perfect. So, I think if you're just a good person, I don't know, this is just my opinion with it. I mean, I'm not going to go too deep in depth with the religious aspect of it, but I do think that as long as you're a good person and stuff, I do think that you can make it to heaven, basically. So they had a conversation about that, and then they had a conversation about kids, and Katie's mom wants like her grandkids to be baptized and stuff and everything. So Josh is just like on the fence of it and everything, and just like unsure if he would even convert. But it's kind of hard to talk to an agnostic at this point, really. So yeah, so after that, basically, also before that, we also seen them do some cake. While they were getting the call at the customs, they did some cake testing as they're close out to their wedding. So, and they asked the mom, like, "Are you surprised that they've done really little preparation for this wedding?" And she was like, "No," because Katie marches to the beat of her drum, basically. So, and I could see that. So yeah, but yeah, that was Katie and Joshua. The next couple I want to talk is briefly, and a surprise turn of events, is Debbie and Mito. So remember what happened last week where we left off? We left off with Debbie taking Mito to a wedding venue and stuff and everything. And Mito was just like, this is too much for me. Like, I want to go. And that let Debbie going off and crying hysterically outside and everything. And this episode, we see the continuation of that. Debbie's still on the ground crying. She's just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Mito comes out. He's like, Dee Dee. And surprisingly, Mito pulls out a ring and proposes to her. At first, he was touching Debbie, and it was just like, Debbie was just like, I know, get away from me, get away from me. He's like, Dee Dee, look. And then she finally turned around, and then she, all her anger crying turned into tears of joy all of a sudden. like, it was like, and he asked the question, can you marry me? And then she said, speaking in Arabic. And so he said in Arabic and stuff. And she finally officially got her actual proposal and stuff. So Mito was just like, this was just the perfect time to do this prank on her and everything. I know she wants to be married and do this, and he said that they complete each other. So finally, after a while, like how many days has been, like 60 something days, Mito finally that's the most romantic we've seen out of Mito. But he just because he had one good episode don't mean that makes up for everything that he's done before. So, but until we actually see them get married, I'm still iffy on Mito. But that was a good start, so I'll give Mito that. So, yeah, good job, Mito. Finally, I think everybody's been waiting to see that finally. But I still not so much of you're not so much a huge fan of your intentions, to be honest with you. So yeah, that was Debbie and Mito. The next couple I want to talk is Thomas and Paula. So Thomas and Paula, they're still in North Carolina at Thomas's dad and stepmom's farm, basically, to make sure they attend the wedding. Well, now, a few weeks ago, we left off with them telling them that we invited their biological mom and everything. And Thomas's dad and stepmom were not happy about it because I guess, the divorce was messy and the biological mom wasn't really there for them and stuff. So we seen Paula in this episode talk to the stepmom, and she was like, I know the last time I saw Thomas's mom, I took pictures with her. You got upset. I didn't think anything. She was like, I didn't think anything of it, but I just I know you probably felt like a little bit of a betrayal and that kind of way and stuff and everything, and that's not my intention and stuff and everything. And the mom was just like, Paula feels because she comes from like a really big family, and her family basically stays together and everything. So she really wants the whole family to come together. And Thomas's stepmom doesn't always see it that way because basically of the bad blood and everything. But Thomas's stepmom was just like, I appreciate, at the time, yes, I was really mad, but I do appreciate you coming to me and talking about it and clearing it up for me and stuff and everything. That doesn't really change much, but seeing your perspective, because this is what you've known and what you're used to, I understand it and stuff and everything. So I'm glad that the stepmom understands Paula's side of it, because Paula really meant no harm and stuff. So after that conversation, Thomas and Paula actually leave the farm so they're heading back so that they could prepare for the wedding and stuff and everything. And Thomas asked Paula, "Have you learned anything from this trip?" And Paula was just like, if they show up to the wedding, I want all of us to have a group picture and everything. He's like, really? What? Why? Because she's like, I just want to have a group picture. So Thomas is like, so in other words, Paula, you have not learned a thing. That was funny. He was like, you have not learned a thing since you've been here and stuff. So, but no, I see Paula's point. She don't know or care she cares, but she wasn't there when all that stuff happened, and she wants the whole family to be together. And I see her point, because okay, why don't you just set aside your differences just for one day, or at least for one day, just one day, just so your son and your future daughter-in-law can have a good day and get married and stuff and everything. and let them be happy for a day. And if they want the whole family together, so be it. So there'll be no drama. Just one day, just put on the front for one day. After the wedding's over, y'all can go back to hating each other and not talking to each other again, and stuff and everything. So I see Paula's point. She just wants the whole family to come together, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So yeah, that was Thomas and Paula. The next couple I want to talk is Mallory and Rajit. So in this episode, Mallory actually goes dress shopping. She said this is the first time she's ever gone wedding dress shopping. She said that, she has a little bit of meat on her bones, so she's having, trying to find like a good customized dress for her. She went with her friends and stuff, and her friends was like, I never thought I would see you in a wedding dress, basically. And so Mallory was just like, yeah, I'm enjoying this, but I need to tell y'all something because this might make the wedding not happen. And she said that I'm not sure if I want to have kids. Now, Mallory has alluded to this before to us in the beginning of the season that she don't want kids. She opened up the fact that she's really not close with her parents, really. She said her mom was just like, had like a lot of men back in the day. She's scared that she could turn into her mom and stuff and everything. And her dad was not in her life and stuff, well, not much in his life. She said after her accident, her dad didn't even come to the hospital to stand by her side and everything. And so Mallory said that she's been envious of people who were close to their parents and stuff because she didn't really have that. She said she got kicked out when she was 18, and that was it. And so she doesn't feel like she would be a good mom just based on her upbringing and stuff. So she feels like Razi, because he wants to have kids. He said he came from, like, he has like 8 siblings and everything, nieces and nephews and stuff and everything. So after she tries on her wedding dress, she goes back and has a conversation with Raj. And Raj is just like, she tells Ross, like, I don't know if I want to have kids. And he was like, why do you always have these bad thoughts? And she's just like, I don't know. I really don't know. Do you think we'll still be together? Like, if I don't want to have kids? And Ross is just like, it will take, I think you'll have, like, in a couple years, like, you'll feel differently. And she tried to keep explaining to him that it's not going to be a couple, what if I'm still feeling this way in a couple years? And he's just like, I don't know. So they go back and forth about it. And like Ross is starting to get irritated because he was like, Mallory could have told me all of this. And like when I was in Turkey. Now, if she would have told me this in Turkey, I wouldn't have come here because he wants to have kids and stuff. So they're definitely not on the same page with that. And now we went from the arguing about Brandon to arguing about the prenup, and now they're arguing about about having kids. So so it's just something. It's just always something. So I mean, you know what? I'm going to take Mallory's side on this because if she feels like she's not equipped to be a mother, do not bring a child into this world. I respect her decision on that because especially with her upbringing, she does not want to bring a child into this world if she knows that she's not going to be a good mom, because you never want to make a child suffer for like how you feel or any kind of resentment just because trying to make a child is fun and everything. But no, do not bring a child into this world if you're unsure about it. So yeah, so I see Mallory's point, and I think like Raj's reactions probably production based. A lot of this stuff with their scenes is a lot of production based. We went from him and Brandon not getting along to them agreeing with each other and now being cool at this point. So maybe Raj's reaction, oh, she would have told me this in Turkey, I wouldn't come here, is probably producer driven. So yeah, but yeah, that was Mallory and Raj. The next couple I want to talk is let's do Marissa and Edward next. So Marissa and Edward. So Marissa, we all know what's been going on with Marissa and Edward. Um, I feel so bad for Edward. He just cannot win one bit. He just can't win. Marissa in this episode is back in New York for work, and she came alone because she said she just wants to get away and have some space and just continue to be in her head and stuff. She also did wedding dress shopping in this episode. So she worked, well, at the time was still working at Kleinfeld. Um, she put on the dress. The dress looked really nice and stuff, but I think her mom was there and stuff, and it's just like, I'm just like 75% in. And the mom was just like, that's not good. You have to be, in my book, you have to be either 0% in or 100% in. There's no in between and stuff, because yeah, Marissa is just in her head. She doesn't know she wants to marry Edward, and it's sad. And Edward, like I said, Edward has not done. We have not seen Edward really do anything wrong. I don't think this whole season Edward has not given me any indication that he's immature. He has fun with the kids. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, jumping on the bed and stuff, with hanging out with the kids and stuff, whatever, and all that. That's just part of it. Okay, the fence, whatever. But no, realistically, Edward has not really, unless we don't. I mean, I know we don't see a lot of things, but from at least what they show, because TLC likes to show all of this stuff, and I've not seen Edward realistically do anything wrong in this. I've not seen him do anything wrong. So I really don't understand what Marissa's problem is and stuff. So I guess like she went like the full day without messaging him, and then they talked a little bit at nighttime, and she said like goodbye, just said bye. He just said bye, talk to you later, something like that. And she kind of got frustrated at his tone about it or whatever. So finally, Edward was just like, you know what? I'm coming to New York, and we got to meet up to talk. So he meets up. He meets up with Marissa, brings her some coffee, and he's just like, like, I just feel like you're not all in at this point, And Marissa's like, I needed my space, and then like you gave me my space, but then when you got mad when I still didn't reach out to you and stuff, and don't say you didn't, because you did and stuff. But Edward's just like, that's not the point. The point is, it's just that like nothing I do is good enough. Like I can't win either way. And she's just like, I'm really second guessing us getting married. She's like, even though I put down on every deposit, I just second guess myself to wonder if all of this is going to happen and stuff. So, like I said, poor guy. I really don't know. I really don't. I do think they get married, but it's painful to watch. Marissa and Edward, it's painful to watch because, like I said, he hasn't done anything. Why is she so mean to him? She keeps saying like, like this is not how it used to be when we first met in the DR and stuff and everything. So, and yeah, it's completely different. But you knew that. Why did you went from, you had like an okay husband at first. Okay, yes, that didn't work out and everything. And then you make a vacation love and then bring him here on a K1 visa, and then and make him feel like he's less than the whole time, and you're still trying to marry him. Like this is not fair to him. Not fair to him at all. This is all Marissa. Like she knew like the type of person she is and stuff and everything. So she just had like, okay, ooh, look at this good looking guy, and let me channel my inner youth a little bit just for the heck of it. But that's basically playing with somebody's heart. She's playing Edward. She's playing with them. Now, I'm glad there's no, at least what we don't see, I'm glad there's no infidelity going on, but it might as well be. at this point, because like she's cheating. Even though she's not cheating emotionally and physically, like she is cheating with his heart and stuff, because I still think she's playing him. She got him here, and now she don't know what to do with him. So, but yeah, that was Marissa and Edward. And the last couple we need to talk is freaking Asia and Maxwell. Oh my god! So last week, Asia's had invited her godbrother and some of her other family members to Nigeria. They did not know that they're coming to Nigeria to see a wedding. Now Rod did, and Rod decided to keep it quiet. So she was just like, "Rod, did you say anything on that plane?" He was like, "No." All her girlfriends, like her sister and her family friends, cousins or whatever they were, they all come up, and they're thinking, "Oh, Asia just likes to have like a vacation trip all the time." And so Asia said, "I just told these girls that we're having a vacation in Africa." Yeah, he wants to vacation in Africa, like in Nigeria. Like he wants to have a vacation in Nigeria. Just say. So her family and friends and the godbrother comes up here. And Asia invites them out to dinner, and then they go out to the beach. They go to the beach and they meet up with Maxwell's mom and dad and sister and stuff. So Asia gets everybody at the beach and brings them all together, and they announce that, guys, so realistically, we are here for a wedding. Me and Maxwell decided that we're gonna get married in 4 days, and you guys are here, and you guys are coming. And her friend was like, I did not know anything about this. I'm just like, how? Me personally, I would have been questioning this more, because again, who comes to Nigeria for a vacation? I'm not trying to knock down Nigeria, and then maybe they have some good vacation spots, but if I'm going to Africa for vacation, like I'm going to Nigeria wouldn't be on my radar for a vacation. Just saying. Like I would go like on some kind of a safari in South Africa, or I would go like to Egypt or something. Like I would go to like those really nice excursions, like touristy places in Africa. And Nigeria is just not it, in my opinion. Again, no disrespect to the Nigerians and stuff, but I got Nigerian in me. I think I'm like 70 something percent Nigerian when I did my ancestry stuff, but yeah, so I would have been questioning that a little bit more. So I don't know why her friends, her family friends are just like, I did not know. So now they dropped that bombshell, but now Rod, the godbrother, is finally going to step in. He was just like, Maxwell, what are you trying to do? Like when you're trying to come to America. And he said that he wants to be an electrician and stuff, but Asia, well, he was a car, or want to be a car salesman, I should say, and then he has or try to do be an electrician, but Asia was answering for him, and Rod was told Asia, can you let your husband answer for me, please? Thank you, and stuff. And so Rod was just like, just so you know, like Nigeria, we get in the U.S. we get a lot of robocalls from Nigeria with the scammers and stuff and everything. And Maxwell's sister was just like, okay, pause. The scammers don't run in my family. Just saying. Like we understand that there's been traumatic experiences with people, but scammers do not run in my family. It's like, okay. Then Rod kind of asked an inappropriate question to Maxwell. He was like, okay, how much money do you have in your bank account? Maxwell flipped out. He was just like, what kind of man asks that kind of question to another man? That how much do you have money you have in your bank account? And quite frankly, I agree with Maxwell. That is none of his business. That is none of his business. Now, Maxwell, now I do notice a lot, because Daniel was like this, and Usman was like this. When they get pressed on topics like that, they start laughing and stuff. I think that's like basically like their nervous laugh or whatever. But again, I agree. Why would that dude ask Maxwell how much money is in your bank account? Like for real. So I don't know. It's just they're planning on getting married. Like Rod's just like I kind of want to talk Asia out of into marrying this guy because he feels like it's a scam. And I don't know. Asia is doing everything she possibly can to prove that this guy's not a scammer and stuff. Now we go back to the first episode when we first met them, where he was denied his visa because him and his friend had the same pictures and stuff and everything. I'm like, of course they're gonna deny you when you go to a visa interview. They're gonna look for every little thing to deny you. Like you have to do everything you can. You have to get like 100% on things, on questions and proof and everything to get a visa. Even if you just miss one, that one thing, that one little thing you miss, will be an automatic failure. Especially in today's world, because again, we have as of right now, we have strict immigration policies in right now. So every little thing is going to be, you have to mark off every little thing. So I mean, Asia, again, like I said, Asia is doing everything she can to prove that Maxwell is hardworking and everything. Because Rob was just like, like, I don't know if you know this in America, but American girls, like, require hardworking men, basically. And Maxwell said, well, you guys in America got, like, machines, like, to do your work for you and stuff and everything. Here, we have to use our hands and stuff. That don't matter either way. That does not matter. We still gotta use our hands here, Maxwell. Come on, man. We still gotta use our hands. Yes, he's like, well, you guys are blessed. I'm like, yeah, we are blessed compared to maybe you guys. Yes, we are blessed in that aspect, but we still got to use our hands. Like it's not, we still got to do, and we're old, and this group is older. It's not like these young groups, this young generation that has everything on AI. Our generation still had to use our hands and feet to do a lot of things. So I don't know what Maxwell was really thinking when he said that, but that's just my opinion. That's just that. So they're still getting married. Asia's just like, come on, man. So yeah. But yeah, that was basically it, you guys. We did not see Shay and Annabelle in this episode. Judging by the previews of next week with Shay and Annabelle, there's and Allison is gonna call Annabelle the B word. That's not nice. We're going to see the continuing conversation with Marissa and Edward, and to see like what final decisions they're going to make. We're also going to see the continuing conversation with Mallory and Raj about not having kids. And I didn't see Debbie and Mino in the preview for next week. What else are we going to see next week? Oh, something that I predicted. Katie and Josh. Katie's gonna have her little bachelorette party. She's about to have another drunken night, and then she's gonna talk about the possibility of having an open marriage and stuff. It just okay, and she wants him to convert to Lutheran, for him being from agnostic to Lutheran, and then you're gonna go out and say you want to have an open marriage. You ain't following God's word, girl. Like that. This is not godly, girl. This is not godly. I do not know what's wrong with her. Now I did see on social media that like she like some like OCD therapist that she's gone to like reacted to her behavior and stuff, and called her out on it basically, and now she's mad at them about that and stuff, blaming everything on OCD and stuff. She has a different type of OCD. Well, I'm not going to go deep into depth about it, but her and Josh, I guess, got mad at that or whatever. But your behavior, I understand that this show is heavily edited, very edited, heavily produced. It's not scripted. But heavily edited and produced. But you still got to try to present yourself in a better way than what you are. And that's just my opinion with that. So that's whatever. But anyway, guys, that is basically it. That is the end of my review. You guys, thank you guys so much for watching. To all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for joining this channel. I hope you guys enjoy my content. I'm going to keep saying that. Thank you to all the 200 plus subscribers. I'll be back on tomorrow and Tuesday to recap 90 Day The Last Resort. And depending on how I feel, depending on how little singles go, I may do little singles and then do Married at First Sight. I don't know. I'm tired, so I'm tired, you guys. So maybe, but we'll see. But I still want to get these videos out for you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all again soon. Love you guys. Bye.